What's going on, guys? It's Rylan with Rylan's Amazing Photography, and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be going over my top 10 images I've ever taken, and I'm going to be telling you all the story behind each one of them. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. This isn't just wildlife photography. This isn't just landscape photography. This isn't just portrait photography. It's literally all of the above. I'm so excited to show you all of the images. They're my top 10, so they're all very special to me. I did a video similar to this once before, and I've done multiple videos similar of this topic where I go over one image and tell the story behind it. Therefore, you've already heard the story behind some of these images because some of my top 10 images just happen to be the images that I've done before in the whole series, the story behind an image. But we're just going to go back over them today, and I might even give you a more detailed story of the events that went down when I took the image. Okay, so now that we've gotten through the intro, I want to apologize for last week. I was absent from social media quite a bit last week. I didn't post to YouTube last week. There's no excuse for that, but I am really busy with doing school and all of that, so I do apologize for that. I plan to try to be more active on YouTube and Instagram and everything altogether. It's just really difficult to do and balance, obviously, my personal life along with that, which is also important. I plan to have a bonus video this week. I have a new lighting setup, a really nice company that also sent me the tripod that sponsored the video the other day. Also sent me a ring light, and they're going to be sponsoring an upcoming video that will probably be a bonus video this week. And it's going to be a review on that ring light. It's a really great light. I'm using it right now, and I love the way that it really improves my lighting setup, and I'm not having to go as necessarily bright in other aspects of the lighting that I typically would be. So I would like to remind you all to go down below and like today's video. While you're down there, definitely make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. And without further ado, I know that was a lot to take in and a very little notice, but I'm going to be going ahead and starting with the first image. I want to add that none of these images are in any kind of particular order, but I am going to be starting with this image of a buck. This buck, it was a really interesting way how I got this picture. I wasn't in a blind or anything. It just kind of happened out of nowhere. First things first, I want to talk about what I really love in the image. This was taken in early summer, and the greens in this are just like really vibrant, and typically I'm not a huge fan of green colors in an image, but I think it works really nice for this, and it's really giving like a nice kind of summer vibe and summer tone, and that's something that I really love, something that you don't see a lot, but you are getting to see it in this image, so I'm really happy about that. Something else I love is the pose of the buck. If you look carefully, it's got its left hoof raised, which is something that you don't see a lot of in deers. It's actually posing for me, so that's really interesting. Now, so how did I do this? How did I get this photo? How did it happen? Well, let me tell you, it wasn't easy. This was back in the days before I had a really fancy camera and a really fancy lens, which means I was doing a lot of difficult kind of tasks to be able to get images like this. And don't get me wrong, equipment hasn't made my job like so easy and I don't have to do anything. It's still very hard to get a good image like this, but before I had a really fancy lens and a really fancy camera, it was even harder. So when I was getting this image, I was doing manual focus, and there's a reason for that. And that reason is because I was using a 70-300 lens. And you're probably thinking, well, why does that mean you had to manual focus? Well, the reason I had to manual focus is because I was using a teleconverter, a 2x teleconverter from, I'm going to be really specific, it's Tamron. So it wasn't necessarily technically made for Nikon. It wasn't really, it was, but it wasn't built to autofocus with the Nikon camera system. So I had to manually focus and bring in the subject. Anyone who's a beginner in photography or even professionals know that manual focus is not easy, especially when hand holding. It's hard to manual focus. It's hard to manual focus with a 24-70 lens, which is wide, and you're able to, kind of see more. But when you're having to hold a lens steady and zoom it in without a tripod, that is really difficult to do. So I could have got 30 shots of this deer had I been able to use autofocus, but they would have not turned out this good because it wouldn't have been as close to the subject, and I would have had to crop, and obviously lose megapixels when you crop. So that's kind of what happened as far as the story behind it. Also, I didn't add this part. I was just casually out taking pictures of birds and trying out like the extra focal length with the Tamron teleconverter when the deer just casually strode out of the woods, and I actually snuck up on it, which is really difficult to do, and I've tried it multiple times, and it just doesn't happen a lot, so I got really lucky as far as that goes. So the next image that I've got here is this ruddy turnstone. It's a really kind of, chill bird. It's a shorebird, and this image, I feel like it kind of speaks for itself when you see it. It's not a rare bird. There's nothing special about the species, but it's a special image, and it hangs in my room. This is one of my all-time favorites. I know I said these images aren't in any order, but this is possibly my favorite image of all time. I literally love the pose of the bird, and the reflection makes it that much more. And like the foam of the ocean behind it, it's like a sparkling kind of shining look, and I absolutely love that. So the story behind this image was, I was at, I believe, Dauphin Island, Alabama, I want to say, when I took this. I can't remember 100%. It was at a beach. I was not in my state of Kentucky. I was actually on a trip. And I was just taking a morning walk on the beach. It was really nice lighting. The lighting wasn't directly overhead yet. It was of a morning, so it was like really kind of soft lighting. But there were no clouds to diffuse it or anything. But it was still nice lighting, and this was on my Christmas vacation, so I had just gotten some new gear. I had just gotten the Nikon D500, so I was kind of out testing it and, learning the camera system, because when you're switching from one camera system to another, that's some difficult stuff to learn. Yeah, I was on the beach, I was walking, I seen this bird, it was directly by the ocean, and it was just happened to be in a spot where there was a reflection. I was like, and I just thought to myself, I was like, oh my gosh, that would be a beautiful picture if I could get close to that bird and zoom in and crop it to where you can see the reflection of the bird, like, on the ground, and see the actual bird. And I managed to do that, and the fact that I've got a 200 to 500 millimeter lens, that helps a lot with that, don't get me wrong. But it was still really hard to capture that image. I had to, squat down, get level with the bird, and then I also had to kind of not be squatted completely down because I wanted to get that reflection in there too. It was a difficult image to kind of capture, but it was totally worth it. I love the image, and the reflection makes it that much more. So next up we have my most liked Instagram photo of all time, and one of my all-time favorite photos as well. It's a blue jay, and it's in the winter time. You can tell that because there's no leaves on the trees. Actually, maybe it was either in late winter or early spring, I think, because it looks like the tree is actually starting to bloom and it's starting to get leaves on it, which is, probably around springtime. There's not like any kind of huge, massive story of how I got this. I'll go ahead and talk about why I like the image so much. The vibrant blue on the bird really stands out in the dull, kind of boring atmosphere that it's in. It really stands out, and I love that about blue jays. I love that about cardinals. They're both so good at staying out in their environment regardless of the time of the year, and that's just, I really love that, and that's why I love to photograph those two birds so much. Story behind the image, I took it in a blind. The blind that I'm in most often, the bigger blind, it's usually kind of dark in there. I've taken some of my best photos of birds out of that blind and some other subjects out of that blind. Best I remember, it was kind of a chilly day. There wasn't a lot of birds out this day, I don't think, but the blue jay did happen to come out, and I managed to get this incredible shot of it. And that's pretty much it. Nothing really special behind the story of that, but that is definitely in my top 10 of my favorite images. So next is this big guy, and is he a brute or what? And if you're watching this and obviously you don't know the story behind it yet, I'll get to that in a moment. But you're probably thinking, "Oh my gosh, you're not that stupid." And no, I'm not that stupid. I was not. I was not this close to a bear in the wild. I would have a heart attack or a stroke or something. I don't even know. Um, but yeah, definitely practice safety when you're around animals like this because they are very dangerous. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and talk about why I like the image. I like the image because it is so close to the subject. You can really zoom in and see its features just incredibly well. He's kind of got his mouth opened a little bit, and he doesn't look very happy. I don't think he is very happy. I don't know why. I hope I didn't make him mad. If I did, he couldn't have gotten to me because the story behind the image is I was at a wildlife sanctuary, and the name is just of that sanctuary is just completely slipping my mind right now. It's in Frankfort, Kentucky. It's a really great place. They have eagles, they have bison, they have bears, bobcats. It's a really pretty place. You should definitely go and check it out. 100% recommended. I'm so sorry I can't think of the name of it right now. Yeah, I got the name. I got it. Salado Wildlife Center. Definitely make sure you go check that out if you're near the Frankfort area or if you're visiting anytime. So I was like above the bear on this kind of platform thing, and he was literally almost as close against the wall as it could get, and I was just sitting there like, oh my gosh, and I got some really awesome photos of him. This isn't even at full 500. This might have been taken at 200 millimeters because he was that close. It was really close. This isn't through glass. This is above him. I also got some video footage of him on this day, and he was really cool to watch, and I really enjoyed getting to photograph him because I never got to photograph a bear before, even if he is in captivity. However, I do want to see a wild bear. I'm dying for that to happen. It's never happened yet. Hopefully it will happen eventually because I want to get a photo of a bear in the wild so bad. Okay, now that I've went off on that little tangent, let's go to the next image. The next image is on your screens now, and it is this absolutely gorgeous image with the backlight and the yellow tones. It's one of the most incredible images I've ever had the chance to take. I took this on my own farm. This is at Kentucky. This is where I live. All of my videos, well, not all of my videos, but most of the videos that are on the channel are filmed over on a farm that I own in Kentucky. And this rabbit is so beautiful, and it just happened to be in the right place at the right time. The lighting was gorgeous. The backlight was stunning. I mean, I don't even have anything to say. It's just a beautiful image. When you just look at it, you know, it's like, whoa, it's just, you're speechless. It's one of those images that really kind of does it for me, and I feel like it does it for a lot of others as well. The story behind this image, I was actually out. I wasn't filming or anything. I was just out trying to find some photos. Every time I go out, a lot of people think, oh, when he goes out to take pictures, he's always filming for YouTube. No, that's not the case. I go out and shoot so much more than what you all ever see. Even on Instagram, I'm out a lot. And this is definitely one of the cooler experiences I've had. I seen him from a far ways away, just kind of sitting in the grass in the clover, eating, just kind of chilling. I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to go ahead and take some shots from back here, get some, kind of safekeeping shots. They're really far away, and they look great, but I was like, I want to get closer to him. I thought that he would run away. I was so sure he would run away, or she. But it stayed there, let me get close. It knew I was there, and that's the best thing to do, honestly. It's kind of good to make the animal aware of your presence and just slowly approach it. Don't bother it, don't scare it. Sometimes it's better not to make the animal aware of your presence. It really just depends on the situation. If you're dealing with a bear in a wild, you don't want to spook up on it and then scare it. But if it's like coming from a distance, you would want to like kind of yell or something just so it's aware that you're there, so it's not going to be shocked and attack you or anything. Obviously I didn't have to worry about this with the hair, but it's still good to make the animal aware of your presence so it's not going to be spooked by you. The lighting in the top left corner, I'm going to go ahead and expose my secret. I used the radial filter in Photoshop to add that in. It makes the image look a whole lot better than what it did. It was already a beautiful image, but it just made it that much better. I actually have a video on that if you're curious as to how you can add an effect like that to your photo. You can click right here and go and watch that video. It's a quick and easy Photoshop tutorial, and you can catch on to it really fast, I think. So yeah, that's the story behind that image. I just kind of seen the rabbit, I snuck up on it, and I got the amazing shot that you've seen. I captured this photo that you're seeing now in a TikTok, actually. It's a really kind of unique photo. It's not something that I do a lot. It's a macro. I guess I would consider it a macro. It's 2 pink flowers. Now, the lighting in this is just absolutely stunning, and it was stunning before I edited it, and when I edited it, I made it look even better, which I think is okay to do, as long as you're not adding in like something entirely different that's not there. I don't see a problem with, enhancing things when you edit, because sometimes it can make your image look even better, and it's not necessarily meaning that it's fake either. It's just, use your own judgment. That's not my choice. You might have a different belief in editing, but that's just my thoughts. So, you're probably noticed that there's some water droplets on it, and this is getting into the story behind it. I was filming a TikTok of 3 creative photography ideas. If you want to follow me on TikTok, feel free to do so, at Rollins Amazing Photography. I had a spray bottle, a little green spray bottle, and I sprayed the flowers a couple of times with the water, and it got these beautiful droplets on there, which was the intention of the photo, and I took the shot, and it just looked stunning, and the lighting was in the perfect spot. It was backlit by the sun coming down on it in golden hours, you can tell, because it's got the nice golden colors. I also added a radial filter to this image. It's a lot more subtle than the last one. You wouldn't even know it was there had I not told you. It's also in the top left corner. It looks beautiful. I mean, this is one of my favorite photos. It was the screensaver on my phone for a long time. The photo is just beautiful, and I think it's just such an amazing photo, and I would hang it on my wall, and I'm sure some of you all would as well. So we've got 4 images left to go, and we are on a shot that I took in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Gatlinburg is one of the most beautiful places on the planet, and it's a landscape photographer's paradise. If you enjoy doing landscape photography, I definitely 100% recommend that you check this place out. I took this image on a trail. I believe it was like a 4-mile trail, 4 miles to the location and 4 miles back. But this waterfall was not the main event. The trail is called Rainbow Falls Trail, best I remember, and it was beautiful. I was there fall last year. It's probably about a year ago, and you can see the beautiful fall colors in the background of the image, and in the top left corner you can kind of see the mist and the fog combined with the fall colors, along with the long exposure of the water flowing so fast, and it's just beautiful. I mean, this image, it really does it for me. It's like, wow. So many of these images, they're all my top 10, so they all have a very special place in my heart. They do change sometimes. I mean, I love photography, and I love all of these images, but there's some that will overtake them eventually, and there's some that I switch out every now and then in my mind. It's like, I think I like that one better than this one today. The story behind this, I had just begun the hike. We were probably about a mile or 2 into the hike. This was the first kind of really rushing, flowing waterfall that there was, and I stopped and took the shot, and it actually turned out to be, I liked this location better than the actual main waterfall itself. I thought it was a lot better composed, and it was a lot more accessible for photography than the main event was itself, and I really enjoyed being able to capture this moment. So this next image is of a Carolina wren, and I actually took this on my most recent trip in Atlantic Beach, North Carolina. It was of the morning, and it had that beautiful morning light on its face. I was going for a hike. It actually ended up to be a really productive hike. I got some amazing shots on it. There was so much wildlife, so many birds. It was just a great place to be. If you're in Atlantic Beach, definitely look for, it's towards the end of the island part, and it's a 3-mile trail, and it's really beautiful. It's great for wildlife. And I mean, this wren was so close to me. This isn't even cropped, what you're seeing right now. And I mean, you can I zoom in and you can look at the detail, and its talons or claws or whatever you call it on a little bird like this are showing. The story behind the image, I was up actually reading a map or something. It was like the start of the trail, and I could hear a bird chirping. It didn't really click with me what it was at first, but obviously I was immediately looking around trying to find it, and that's when I spotted the wren in the kind of tree that it was in. I'm not sure. I almost believe it's some kind of pine tree, and I seen it setting in the light, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's going to be an amazing photo. And I exposed for the shot, and I took it, and it ended up being one of my favorites of the day. So yeah, that's that one. This shot was recently taken on the same trip that I talked about just on the last image. This was taken at Atlantic Beach, North Carolina. It was a really beautiful sunset, and this is an image of the ocean waves. Now, typically, I know what you're thinking. This is a really low f-stop. A low f-stop, which is also a high aperture. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and go into this right now. We're doing this right now. A low f-stop, such as f2.8, is the same thing as a high aperture. Now, a low aperture is the same thing as a high f-stop. There you go. That's explained. Don't worry about it. So this is a low f-stop, which means that I'm getting a blurrier background and a more shallow depth of field. And that's not common in landscapes. You usually don't do that. You usually want a higher f-stop like f8 or f11. But I wanted to be experimental, we'll call it, for this particular shot. And I think it turned out really well because there's a single focus point on the wave coming in. And it's just, I mean, I don't know, it's stunning. It's beautiful. And the background's blurred out. It's not a long exposure, and I think it fit really well for the scenario, and it was really kind of what you were seeing with your eyes. I did not enhance the color in this at all. I didn't change anything as far as the color goes. That is all natural. The story behind the image is I decided to go out for a sunset, I'm sorry. I didn't really think there was going to be anything. I thought it was going to kind of flop because it was really cloudy outside. Which is usually good for sunsets, but I thought it was like too cloudy on this particular night. But I went out anyways, and well, as you can see, it clearly ended up paying off. I just went a little ways towards the destination that I was going to go when it started to happen, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to shoot out straight into the ocean, and it still looks good. It's not the greatest composition that you're ever going to see, but I think it looks really nice, and really, you know, it just kind of conveyed the emotion that I was feeling and the scenery that I was seeing. So finally, we have the first and only portrait on this list, and it is of myself. I mean, and what is there to not like about this? So, quick little subtle announcement. I turned 16 on Monday, which is you're seeing this on Friday, so right now that's, today, tomorrow, Sunday, and then I'm 16, so like, I don't know, 3.5 days, I guess, right? I don't know. I'm not good at math. Anyways, this is me with my car that I'm absolutely in love with, and I decided to do some self-portraits, so I took these myself, and it's a beautiful scene with the barn in the background blurred out. This is at a low f-stop, f2.8, and I'm wearing my signature sunglasses that I like to wear in a lot of my self-portraits, and I love the flannel I had on. Just everything about this image is just, woo! You know, like, this is really exciting. I just get so excited when I look at this image. I mean, there's not even a story to tell. It's in my top 10 right now. This is probably my #1 image. Oh man, I'm getting excited. Oh gosh. Oh, I love that car. Oh my gosh. This is literally like best pictures I've ever taken of myself. But I did cut all my hair off. But it's fun, because oh my gosh, this image is, oh my gosh. I could look at that all day. Like, that's an amazing portrait, and it's of me. I usually don't like pictures of myself, but that did good. I was really happy with the way that turned out. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is all I have for this video. This was a really long video. This is like almost 30 minutes. I haven't had a video this long in a long time. So that means that you all have got to be sharing this with your friends, with your family, with your dog, with your cat, with your cow. I don't know if you have a cow, but if you do have a cow, you should definitely share it with your... Oh, I just almost knocked over the camera. This is a disaster. So yeah, basically share the video around. I really appreciate the support that you all have always been giving me. Once again, I apologize for not having a video last Friday. It was just, it was so hectic and I just couldn't grasp the concept. I plan to have an out in the field video next Friday. I plan to have a bonus video at some point this week on a review with this new ring light that I'm using in my setup. And I also plan to have another bonus video where I read your all's comments. I did a Q&A on my Instagram a couple of weeks ago where I got some questions for it. It's going to be kind of like a reading comments and a Q&A video. That'll be a bonus video. If you have any questions for me, definitely make sure that you're leaving those in the comments as well. So once again, thank you all so much for watching today's video. Which was your favorite image out of my top 10? Did you like it? What was a fun story? What was your, what did you enjoy about today's video? Leave it down below. Thank you all so much for your support, and thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you guys have, drum roll please, an amazing day.